What's up, guys? Give me just one moment. What a way to start the stream. How are y'all doing? Oh, fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. I'm leaving that in. God damn it. I literally always tell my wife, like, hey, I'm starting my stream now. My stream's starting soon. Music's usually about like 7 to 8 minutes. And then I'll actually be like live. And it was almost like she timed it, where the second I finished my stream starting soon screen, and the music ended and I unmute my mic, she yells at me from across the house. So the first thing the stream hears is just my wife yelling at me. Jesus Christ. That's fine. We're leaving it in. I don't care. We're leaving it in. Oh my god. Anyways, we'll for sure definitely guaranteed to find it. For sure guaranteed. You know what? I don't even know anymore. I I honestly have no expectations anymore. And maybe this sounds negative, pessimistic, like I've given up, but it's not even that. I think I've just developed this unhealthy relationship, this unhealthy attitude where like I'm okay with this shiny hunt taking a little bit longer because it's the fastest shiny hunt in the game. So like my brain has now tricked itself into thinking if this shiny hunt takes a little bit longer, that's a good thing because our next shiny hunt is Dratini, and that's a grind. That's a long, tedious, slow shiny hunt. So, like, stupidly, my brain has gaslit itself into thinking Abra is okay to take a little bit longer and have bad luck if the Dratini shiny hunt is a little bit quicker with good luck. Is that going to happen? Probably not, because that's not how statistics work. That's not how life works. But I'm hoping that happens, you know? That'd be really cool. Like, I will happily wait 20,000 resets. You know, I'll happily spam and recycle and just trash, just catch and release 20,000 Abra if we get a shiny Dratini in like 100 resets. Anyways, let me put on some background music before we start the shiny hunt. Today, we're going to be listening to the soundtrack from Pokemon Emerald, which apparently I've listened to before because it has been watched in my YouTube history. Like when I go to this playlist on YouTube, it has the little red underline showing that I've definitely listened to this, watched this, and it is currently in my history on my YouTube channel. But I don't remember listening to this music on stream. If we've listened to this soundtrack on stream, it was a while ago, at the very least. It's been months because I can't remember the last time we've specifically listened to the soundtrack from Pokemon Emerald, and I'm in the mood for some beautiful, like serendipitous Hoenn music. And by that I mean I'm just in the mood for some trumpets to be blaring in my ears. Let's get it. All right. Anyways, we're back on the grind. apologies if I'm a little out of it today. My commentary might not be in peak form because I've worked the last 4 days straight. And I always try to stream on my last day of work. So, I'll work for 4 days straight, 5 days straight, and then stream the last day of work. Because, my brain thinks, well, I don't have to work tomorrow, so I can stay up a little late tonight streaming, playing games, and talking to chat. And it won't mess up my sleep schedule for tomorrow, because I don't need to wake up for work tomorrow. And that's true. There's technically nothing wrong with that, like, on paper. And I will give myself a little bit of credit that I'm at least trying to stream as much as possible. Even on some of the days I work, like today. The problem with this stream schedule, though, that I create myself, so it really is my own fault. The problem with this stream schedule, though, and specifically with streaming today, is I'm now running on, like, literally running on fumes, because I have worked the last 4 days, and I'm just exhausted. Like, all I can think about is how badly I want to sleep for the next 36 hours. And I can't even do that, because we're streaming again tomorrow. I'm still not exactly sure what we're going to stream tomorrow. The way I schedule out my streams, and I've said this time and time again, so this isn't new news for anyone, but like, the way I schedule out my streams is I'll plan about a week's worth of streaming out in advance, which in some ways is really nice, but in other ways it leads to kind of some strange scheduling conflicts where, for example, the last week of streaming, when I schedule it out, obviously I know what I'm going to stream the next day when I'm scheduling it out. So for example, like let's look at this specific stream schedule. I posted it on May 22nd. Obviously, on May 22nd, I know what I'm going to play on May 23rd. But I don't necessarily know with 100% certainty on May 22nd what game I want to play on May 28th. And therefore, when I make that stream schedule on May 22nd, when I was creating it in Photoshop a week ago, I just kind of leave that date blank and decide that we'll just wing it. We'll figure it out in the moment. And 9 times out of 10, I don't figure it out in the moment. I'm usually left kind of just picking a game at random, depending on like what my friends are playing or what I'm in the mood to play. So, again, when I made that stream schedule on May 22nd, I had no clue what I wanted to play tomorrow on May 28th. Now that it's a week later almost, and tomorrow has arrived, I still don't really know what I want to play. But I've thought about it a little bit as I was setting up the stream and letting the intro music play. And I do have an idea for at least a section of the stream, maybe half of the live stream could be dedicated to specifically video editing, which I haven't done in a while. And I kind of feel obligated to do. I kind of need to do some video editing because there's a specific membership reward that I've been promising people and I have not delivered on. And it's actually one of my free membership rewards. So I have a ton of membership rewards, both for Twitch subscribers and YouTube members, but most of those are paid rewards. If you're a tier 1 Twitch sub, you get bonus videos, food and drink videos, not mukbangs, okay? I'm not Nikocado Avocado. Can't even say his name properly. It's like a tongue twister. It's like Voldemort, he who shall not be named. But like, I'll post bonus videos, as I was saying, for tier 1 subs. I'll even post deleted YouTube videos for tier 3 subs. But those are obviously paid tiers that I'm well aware of the fact that, you know, are not available and not feasible for everyone. Not everyone can afford a sub every month. You know, I can't even fucking afford a sub every month for half the streamers I watch. Most of the time, I think right now, I'm only subbed to like one streamer. At most, I'm subbed to like 3 streamers at a time. And that's at most. Like, I think right now I'm only subbed to 1. And it's my Twitch Prime sub. Because I'm trying to save for a house. So I really had to cut like all expenses across the board. Like, I had to cut all of my subscriptions, all of my extra little payments I was doing here and there. I felt bad because like there were at least 20 OnlyFans models that I was putting through college, and I had to cancel those subscriptions, so I'm really sorry to those men and women. But yeah, like, I completely understand that people can't afford a sub on Twitch or a membership on YouTube. So I also try to post bonus videos and extra little rewards for free, just for anyone willing to support my content. And one of the rewards that I said I was gonna do, but I'll be honest, I have not done yet, was monthly clip compilations. So just a short little video, kind of almost like a highlight reel of the best clips from the live stream that month. And I was gonna start it at the beginning of 2026, just because I felt like that was a good, fresh, almost clean slate. Start of a new year, and it'd be a good jumping off point to do these clip compilations. I never ended up posting any clip compilations. Not from January, February, not from any month of 2026. And at first, I was blaming it on the fact that I got in a car crash in January, so I didn't really stream much beginning of the year. And then in February, I think I had like the flu or some crazy disease that also kept me offline for most of that month. So at the beginning, I had a valid excuse, a real excuse, which is that January, February, I wasn't online much, and I really just was bedridden for most of the first 2 months. But it's now almost June. Like, we're going into the end of May, beginning of June, and I still haven't posted a clip compilation. So I no longer have that excuse, and therefore I want to kind of catch up on that reward. And I still want to post all of those old clip compilations that I said I was going to. So my plan is, we're going to post the first like 4 or 5 months of the year as like a batch. Literally a bulk upload. It would be like watching an entire Netflix season in one go. Which, I mean, honestly, nowadays, that's how most people watch content anyways. So, therefore, because I want to not only edit, but also upload the first 5 clip compilations all at the same time, like all on the same day, I kind of realized it's going to be a lot of work. And therefore, that would almost remove an entire day of streaming from my stream schedule, unless I just stream myself editing those videos, and then I don't have to skip a stream. So, my plan for tomorrow, at least for part of the live stream, is to edit the clip compilation videos for January, February, March, April, and maybe May of 2026. But May isn't over yet, so I feel like if I upload May there's a chance that like we'll miss out on a couple clips. But I mean, at the same time, probably not. Is anything that crazy gonna happen in like the last 2 live streams of May? I doubt it. And if it does, we'll just throw it in the June compilation. So, yeah, I don't know if that'll take up the entirety of tomorrow's live stream. I don't know if that will be the only thing we do during tomorrow's stream, but it at least gives me something to do. Because like I said, I had no idea what I wanted to stream tomorrow. I'm terrible at planning out my streams like a week in advance, and really just having a concrete game or idea or challenge scheduled out that far ahead. And therefore, this is at least a good kind of plan B. Anyways, we have another 137 Abra across the GameCube and the DS over there. The DS right here. So we'll look through these 137 Abra and see if we get a shiny. That also bumps our total for this shiny hunt overall up to 9,179. So, fingers crossed. I honestly, again, I don't want to sound pessimistic. Normally, I'm very optimistic, and I go into every shiny hunting stream just feeling overwhelmed with this just blissful, I don't know, just childlike belief. Just pure, unadulterated, just, I can't even think of the word, like, ignorance, truthfully. I go into every stream just blissfully ignorant and optimistic that I'm going to get the shiny, but today, I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe it's because we're so close to 10,000, and I truly believe we're more likely to hit 10,000 resets than get the shiny before that. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I feel like the game is gonna hold off on the shiny until after we hit the 5 digits, that big 10,000. Let's see if we get any Abra here in box 2 that are shiny, though. Also, if you can't tell, that's probably my goal for today's stream. I want to hit at least 10,000, and then if we don't hit 10,000... Sorry, that was worded grammatically incorrect. My goal for today's live stream is to hit at least 10,000 resets. The only thing that'll stop us from hitting 10,000 resets would be if we get a shiny. So, if we don't hit 10,000 resets, that means we got a shiny, or the stream's gonna keep going. I'm not ending the stream until we get to 10,000 resets. Anyways, no shinies on the GameCube. Let's quickly check the DS. I always am like scared to blink. I mean, I don't know. That sounds silly to say, but I'm even scared to blink when I'm looking through these Abra because I don't want to miss a potential shiny as it's passing by. Alright. Nothing on the DS. We'll hit it with a reset. Also, my chair has been getting more and more squeaky to the point where it's now getting, like, actively, audibly picked up on my microphone, which is not good, because I have my microphone set up with a ton of filters and settings in place to stop background noise. Like, not only do I physically attach a pop filter and a windscreen to my microphone to stop it from picking up like little weird background noises and just audio quirks, but I also have settings applied to my microphone like a noise gate and other filters to diminish background noise. And yet, the squeakiness of my chair, for example, let me just stop talking and move around in my chair a little bit, and you'll probably hear it get picked up on the microphone. I might have to pause the music, though. The music might be too loud. It's okay, the song's ending anyways. Alright, pause the music, I'm gonna stop talking, and then just move around in my chair for a sec. Okay, that actually wasn't that bad. The chair squeaked at least 7, probably more than that, like 10 times as I moved back and forth on my chair, but I only saw the microphone pick it up twice. However, that's still bad. Like, the microphone should not be picking that up. I can't blame the microphone, though, because the chair is getting so squeaky and so loud. I don't know what to do about it, though, because, like, I think the chair is just getting old. I've had this chair for a long time, actually. I was about to say a number, and then I realized that number was way lower than the actual true fact. Like, I was underselling it hard. And I don't want to lie to y'all. I was gonna say I've had this chair for 5 years, but then I did the math in my head. I've had this chair for 7 years of streaming. 7 of the 10 years I've been streaming, I had this chair. The chair I had before this was terrible. Probably why I didn't stream much in the first 3 years. The first 3 years of my streaming career, I had this egregious, uncomfortable, like, it was made out of this fake like foam, but calling it foam is a disservice to the word foam. It was almost like breathable plastic. It was just terrible. It was worse than just a hard plastic chair you would find at like a family cookout. And it was also worse than just a foam chair that you would find at, say, like the basement of your church at a youth group meeting. It was worse than both of those. It was so bad. The armrests specifically were made out of the most hard, uncomfortable plastic that had these weird kind of golf ball like grooves cut into them. You know how like a golf ball has divots all over the surface area of the ball? Similarly, my testicles have grooves cut into them all across the surface area of the ball. I apologize. Fucking terrible imagery. My bad. No, so the armrests of my old gaming chair also had those weird little divots cut into them like a golf ball, but they were so just jagged and not smooth and uncomfortable that they would dig into my arms and like cut my arms. Yeah, just respectfully fuck that old chair. That old chair was terrible. I hated that old chair. I've had this chair for about 7 years now, and it's great. It's very comfortable, super ergonomical, and it's not a gaming chair. That's the important thing. I feel like most gaming chairs on the market are the opposite of comfortable. They're the opposite of ergonomical. They're the opposite of safe for your body. Most gaming chairs on the market are made under the aesthetic of like making you look cool and being for pros and looking like you're an esports gamer. However, those chairs actually are terrible for like your back and for your posture, and they just hurt you. So when I switched from like my old cheap gaming chair to the current chair I'm sitting in now, I specifically just wanted to get like an office chair. A comfortable, sleek office chair. And it's nice. It's very nice. I like this chair. I don't want to talk badly about this chair while I'm actively sitting on it. That would be like trash talking a partner as you're laying next to them post coitus. It'd be like doing a halftime report while you're in the middle of a hand job, just being like, the wrist work's a little mid, but at least she's also playing with the balls that have divots in them. No, I don't want to talk trash about the chair that I'm sitting in, because I love this chair, and I don't want to hurt the chair's feelings. But the problem is, this chair is getting old, and it's getting very squeaky and a little worn down. You know, I can't blame it. I've had the chair for 7 years. But I'm starting to think it might be time for a new chair. I don't know if I have the heart to move on from this one yet. Like I said, this is one of the most comfortable chairs I've ever sat in. It's been a staple of my streaming setup for the last 7 years. And it is comfortable as all hell. I wonder, honestly, if I'd be able to find the chair again and just buy another one. Hold up. Actually, we might do that. We're taking a break. We're taking a break from stream. I'm going into Amazon. Can I? I'm fucking signed out of Amazon. Damn it. Give me 1 second. Am I signed in on my phone? If I'm not signed in on my phone, then we're not doing this, because I don't feel like signing in. I'm not signed in on my phone. No. That's so unlucky. I was gonna try to make like a fun bit out of this moment. Make it like a fun stream clip where I go and like go back through my Amazon purchases for the last 7 years and see if I can find the chair that I bought. But I'm not signed in. Dox yourself real quick? Yeah. You're so right, actually. Let me dox myself real quick. Hey, what's up, Skooma? Yeah, let's make a fun little Twitch clip real quick where we dox ourselves. No, I don't. Damn, I'm not signed in. What a bummer. That's okay. I actually don't remember if I bought that chair on my account or if I was still technically on my parents' Amazon account, because that was like 7 years ago when I bought this chair. So it might not even be on my Amazon account. Because, like, I think technically 7 years ago I might have had my own Amazon account, but I wasn't buying much on it because I didn't have Amazon Prime, whereas my parents had Amazon Prime. So most of the time, when I wanted to buy something, I was just purchasing it on their account anyways, because I wanted Prime delivery. Especially back then, like 7 years ago, you couldn't get free delivery unless you had Prime. Like nowadays, Amazon, you can usually get free delivery with or without Prime, but back then, you needed Prime for free delivery. So like, I wasn't paying for delivery. I'm thinking of doing a no catching challenge if I read. Wait, that actually sounds sick. That could be fun. I like that idea a lot, actually. There's a lot of Pokemon you can get, too. Like, not only could you get a full party, but you could get a lot of backups. What's the max? I don't know if you've done the math yet, but, like, if you have the number, I'm curious what the max amount of Pokemon you can get would be before the Elite Four. Because, like, I'm already doing the math quickly in my head, and I know you could get a full party with... I could see HMs being a little bit of a hindrance, but truthfully, you could probably just make, like... especially if you pick, like, a Venusaur, you can make Venusaur your HM slave. sad as that sounds. Or the Magikarp you can buy for 500. The Magikarp, which evolves into Gyarados, could be like an HM slave early on. So yeah, even HMs aren't going to be that big of an issue. HMs are not much of a problem. You can get about every type. That could be fun. Especially with the, like, once you get access to the... Why am I blanking? Fossil Pokemon? I couldn't think of the word fossil for a second, sorry. Once you get access to fossil Pokemon, that's real fun. I love those mods. Absolutely love them. Yeah, Aerodactyl is a must. I agree. That dude's crazy. I love Aerodactyl. Yeah. Anyways, to finish the last thing I was talking about, I really need to see if I can find the chair I bought 7 years ago and what it would cost now. Because the other nice thing about this chair is it was cheap. Like, there are some expensive, like, luxury office chair brands out there. I'll give you an example. Herman Miller. They're stupidly overpriced. Herman Miller's cost like $1,000 for a chair, and they're not even that comfortable. I've sat in a Herman Miller before, and it's the same as sitting in like a standard office chair. Whereas this chair I have now feels like you're sitting on a cloud. And I only paid, I think, like 7 years ago, I paid $160 for this chair, give or take. I am curious how much I'd have to pay nowadays for it, though. So, I wonder if I could find this chair again. I really want to see if I can find this chair. I'm not joking. I kind of want to try. I don't want to, like, distract too much from the gameplay and pause the stream too much. But I think in between this reset and the next one, I want to just dig a little deeper. Like, maybe check my email and see if I have an email about the delivery of the chair or something like that. Alright, anyways. We got another set of Abra. That bumps our total Abra total. Wait, I just said the same thing twice. It bumps our total up to 9,360. So, let's see if we get any shinies. It would be fitting with this victory music playing in the background. Nothing there. Yeah, there's got to be some way I can find, like, when I purchased that chair, if I purchased that chair. I don't think going through my Amazon purchase history is the best way to do it, though, because the more I think about it, the more I doubt it would be in my Amazon purchase history. I think it would be in my parents' account, because 7 years ago, I wasn't really buying things on Amazon on my account. I was always using my parents' account. Alright, nothing there. Let's check the DS real quick. See if we get any shinies here. Nothing there. How about box 2? Again, I don't know why, I'm just oddly, like, pessimistic tonight. I don't have the strongest hope that we're gonna get the shiny. And it's not that I'm negative. I just feel like maybe I'm more realistic tonight. Usually I'm blissfully ignorant and thus overly optimistic. Okay. Before we try to run it back, I want to see if there's any way I can find how would I even find? I'm gonna go to my email real quick. I don't even know what I would look up in my email. Amazon chair? No, for some reason that only brought up returns for 2025. That's not helpful, Amazon. What if I type in like chair delivery? No. Chair shipped? No. So unhelpful. There's gotta be some way I can figure this out. I don't know how though. Chat. Someone tell me what chair I bought 7 years ago. That's not, I don't know why I'm laughing at that. It's not even that funny, but that's just I'm laughing at my own dumb jokes now. God damn it. You know who might know? My dad, because it's his Amazon account. What if we just call my dad live on stream? I haven't done that in a while. That'd be a funny stream moment. Calling my dad live on stream. One sec. How much you want to bet? Okay. How much you want to bet? I call him, and one of the first things he's gonna say is like, "You haven't called me in weeks, and the first time you call me is on stream about a chair." Like, it'll be a joke. He's not gonna be actually mad, but it's gonna be a joke about how I don't actually call him. I don't call him for real. I don't know if the microphone's gonna pick this up because my microphone blocks out background noise.
Hello.
Hey, I'm live streaming, but I have a question for you real quick.
Sure, what up, world?
Do you remember the chair that I asked you to buy me like 7 years ago as I think it was a birthday or a Christmas present, and it's still the same chair I use as part of my like desk, gaming, and stream setup?
So I did buy it for you.
Yeah, you did.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you. Do you remember if you like bought that on Amazon? And if
Probably.
so, would that be in your Amazon history?
Quite possibly.
Because I'm trying. I know it's not in my Amazon history, and I'm trying to see what this chair was called specifically. I'm trying to find it on stream. No
Order.
rush, no rush. It would have been a while ago. Like I'm estimating 7 years, but that might be more. It could be like 6.
This one? Um, Mesh back?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was one in 2001. It says Alera Elusive Series Mesh Mid-Back Multifunction Chair. Does that sound about right?
That
Yeah,
sounds right. It also sounds like a disease.
It's got like a whole bunch of freaking handles under it for all
Wow.
kinds of adjustments.
That hasn't changed much in price. I see. One of the things I was curious about, and I was talking to my chat about, was like,
Oh, did you just find it?
yeah, I did.
I was gonna text it to you. So yeah, it says like Elabess.
Interesting.
Oh no, wait, that's a Why is it giving
Alara Illusion Series Mesh.
Yeah, Alara Illusion Series Mesh Mid Back, $175.
How much did it cost when you bought it back then? Because I feel like this hasn't
Yep.
gone up in price much.
Where's the?
Where did it go?
I was one of the questions I was having with the chat, and I was like,
152.
So
okay.
it was 143 plus the tax. So yeah, you figure it's going up like $30 in those years.
Good for them, honestly. I mean, they're probably paying their workers 20 cents an hour, but like, good for them for not increasing their prices that much. I was expecting it to have like doubled in price since then. Interesting. Okay, well, I'll have to keep that in the back of my mind because not that my chair is broken or like breaking, but I wanted to buy a backup chair at some point, and I like this one a lot, and I like the product, so I wanted to see if you had it.
What are like the 20 handles underneath for?
I don't have one with 20 handles. I have like three. One is for height, one's for like allowing it to go back and forth, and then you can turn the handle and it no longer will let you lean back. So like you can't adjust. Um hold up.
Upgrade the wheels to
the rollerblade wheels. Yeah, I like those when I have them. They're definitely good on carpet.
The chat's asking me to show them. I should probably show my screen. It's not bad.
What are you streaming anyway?
I'm streaming Pokemon, but I got on this random.
Stream something cool.
What do you mean?
Like the 500 games I've let you borrow.
I mean, I'm playing Pokemon Fire Red on the Game Boy. That is kind of cool, and I'm playing it on a GameCube, so I can capture card the GameCube with the Game Boy Play.
Card in your GameCube. I only put one in your Game Boy.
No, you put one on the DS, but it's a 3DS, so it doesn't have a Game Boy slot in the 3DS.
Just jam it in there; it will work.
Listen, I had to find a way to play every generation of Nintendo. So the 3DS plays 3DS and DS. The GameCube plays GameCube and Game Boy. And then everything else I either own or emulate. And if Nintendo's listening, I don't know what emulation is. Never heard of it.
It's not illegal to emulate games you own.
Yeah, you say that until the Nintendo ninjas show up at your doorstep at 3 a.m. Well, anyways, I will be saving this information for later because this chair is very nice and not a bad price.
You don't need me to forward you the link.
No, I have it favorited.
Okay.
It's a me, Mario.
Compared to compared to some of the chairs we were looking at before, like I don't know what brands you looked at, but some of these luxury brands are stupidly priced. Like Herman Miller's are over $1,000. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. This is not a bad price.
Speaking of Nintendo ninjas, have you seen Super Mario Galaxy movie?
No, I have not.
Okay, because they got the ninjas in there from Super Mario Brothers too.
We'll have to watch it sometime next time I'm home.
Okay. Well, so I'm playing something for 2028.
Yeah, got you. Anyways, I'll let you go. I gotta get back to playing Pokemon, but I appreciate your help.
My pleasure, Sonno.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Caleb, son.
Bye.
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 I don't think he's ever called me Caleb's son before. I don't know where that came from. I'll be so honest with you. That caught me off guard. That was helpful though. I appreciate him. He found that so fast. I thought this was gonna take him like 20 minutes. I thought we were gonna be on the phone for like 20 minutes. He found that in like 2 minutes. That was crazy. But yeah, there you go, chat. If anyone wants a good chair that isn't $1,000, it's the Allura Illusion. It sounds like a porn star, but it literally is. It literally is an OnlyFans model's like fake name, their stage name, Allura Illusion. But it's a really good chair. I've been vibing with this chair for 7 years now. Well, I guess not 7 years. He corrected me. It's been 5 years. Bought it for me 5 years ago, but it feels like longer. I don't know why. I'm not saying he lied to me, but that feels wrong. It feels like I've had this chair for way longer than 5 years. jam it in there. That's what she said. God damn it. You didn't just hit my own father with a "that's what she said." Jesus Christ. Papa Wolf. Anyways, let's hit him with another reset. There was no shinies on this attempt. We'll keep the music going again here. Let me turn it back on. All right, so Route 111. What's up, Game Zone? Game Zone 69. Nice, brother. How you doing? Yeah. So, good news. We now know exactly the type of chair I'm going to buy if I ever need to replace this chair, or if I just want a backup. Honestly, that just feels like a win for the day. I feel like I accomplished something successful today. We have a chair if I need to replace this one. I love feeling like we successfully accomplished something today. In the event my chair ever breaks or I need a new chair for my streaming setup, we now have the exact chair we're going to buy. We locked that in on tonight's stream. And by we, I mean my dad helped us figure that out. He kind of did most of the work, but I still feel like we accomplished something together, chat. Oh man, that's funny. Anyways, what are we up to now? 9,300? So, realistically, if I'm doing the math correct, nah, I think we need to do 6 more resets to get to 10,000. I was gonna say 5, but I think... Okay, so it's 130 abra every reset. 137 specifically, but like, just to make the math easy, it's 130 abra every reset. So, 1 reset from now would bump us up to 944. 2 resets from now would bump us up to 957. 3 resets from now would bump us up to 970. 4 resets from now, 983. 5 resets from now, 996. So yeah, unless those 7s really carry over, that I'm not adding up, and I don't think they will. I guess we could spoil it. We could spoil it for ourselves and just quickly do the math on camera. So 5 resets from now. Oh my god! They carry over. 5 resets would be 10,001, almost exact. That's crazy. Okay. Let me fix the number on screen, set it back to 9,300. So we only need to do 5 resets to get to 10,000. Almost 10,000 exactly. That's crazy. That's like the perfect number to end the stream on. We can end the stream on 10,000 exactly. Just, you know, forget about the 1. Don't carry the 1. That's insane. Yeah, so we only have to do 5 more resets. Not bad. Alright, I'm vibing then. That would literally be like the perfect number to end the stream on. Exactly 10,000. And then I was saying earlier that tomorrow's live stream we might do a little bit of video editing. But if I get bored of video editing, or if in some miracle universe the video editing section of the stream takes less time than I anticipate it will, and I finish editing that video quicker than I expect to, then maybe we can spend the second half of the stream doing more shiny hunting. Because, like I said, I'm very determined to get this shiny as soon as possible. I would love to get the shiny like, within the next couple streams. Obviously, that's out of my control, but like, I want to grind for it. It's out of my control, but I want it to be as much in my control as possible, and therefore, I'm willing to put in the work and grind out some of these resets. Even if it means, like, 4 of the next 5 live streams need to be shiny hunting streams. Hell, even if it means 9 of the next 10 live streams need to be shiny hunting streams, I'll shiny hunt just to try to get this Abra. Because I feel like it's been long overdue. And it's not that the shiny hunt's taking a long time, per se. I've just been kind of lazy about it in the past, where I've been playing a lot of other games. I haven't been playing Pokemon as much the past couple months. Like, admittedly, I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch with friends, and I've even been playing a little bit of Fortnite here and there. And therefore, Pokemon kind of became secondary in my stream schedule. It wasn't the priority, and I want to make it the priority again. At the very least, until we successfully catch these shinies and complete this challenge. So, I don't know, I'm almost refueled and fired up again. Very determined to get the shiny. What is this? This is the Deoxys battle music? I didn't recognize it at first. I honestly don't really recognize it because I never caught Deoxys in this game. I never had the gift event to battle Deoxys in the first place. This is crazy. That, like, electric synth. This music feels so fitting for Deoxys. It very much so gives off the kind of outer space, almost neo-tech genre vibe of music, which is such a difficult vibe to give off when they're putting the soundtrack on a Game Boy. Like, the music is stuck on a Game Boy Advance cartridge, but they're still able to fully accomplish the aesthetic of, like, outer space and Deoxys. This is crazy. As someone who's never really listened to this song before, and again, I've never battled Deoxys, never caught Deoxys, this is awesome. Also, I've been enjoying taking my break from first-person shooter games, but I am starting to feel kind of those withdrawals. It really is like an addiction, and I need to have as much willpower as I can. I'm really trying my best to just abstain. I'm trying my best to follow my old rule of only playing an FPS game if I'm playing with friends. And so far, for like the last week or two, I've done a pretty good job of that since I've re-implemented that rule, at least. Yesterday, I logged on Counter-Strike, and I played one game just to do my weekly mission and get my weekly reward. And it was fun, but it was also a reminder of why I shouldn't play that game by myself. Because, like, it's just not as fun. When you're playing on, like, a team of people, and my team wasn't even bad. Like, they were good at the game. But they were kind of just, like, all fighting with each other. And therefore, to finish my point, when you're playing on a team of people who aren't the most positive, friendly, they're just, like, ruining the vibe. They're making the experience of the game lesser. It kills the fun for me. Even when we're winning, even when I'm playing well, and the results of the match is a victory and a successful weekly reward. Like I said, I completed my weekly mission, got my weekly reward. Like, I still felt unfulfilled because that game was just not the most bright and cheery and happy. So, at the very least, the one good thing about that is it only made me feel more valid in continuing to not play FPS games unless I'm playing with friends. Like, I want to try to follow that rule as strictly as possible. It almost feels like I'm a child that is like having to follow a curfew, but like, no, I really should stop playing first-person shooter games unless I'm playing with the homies, with the boys. Because playing with randoms is just a miserable experience. Oh, I almost forgot to increase the counter on screen, the number on screen. It's gonna be 9,453 abra now. I did not look at those last two abra. I looked at the chat. Let me go back, make sure they weren't shiny. Alright, no shinies there. Put the abra down. What am I doing? Alright, any shinies in box 2? Unlucky. Let's try box 3. Like I said, I always feel like I gotta lock in and really just focus on the screen. I don't want to miss a shiny because I like blinked or I looked away. Alright, nothing on the GameCube. Let's check the DS. Get it lined up with the camera as best as I can. Nothing in box 1. Quickly look through the last couple abra here in box 2 on the DS. Alrighty, no shinies. We'll move on to another reset. We'll run it back. Oh boy. I'm definitely also feeling the effects of the amusement park that shall not be named. I'm joking. I don't actually care as much. I just thought it was funny to word it that way. I'm feeling the effects of the park opening back up, even though I don't work there, because like all of my old coworkers and all my old friends are so much more busy now, and I have less people to play games with on the daily. I feel like the season opening back up has stolen my friends away. Though I was expecting that. Like, obviously, off-season hours are different than regular season hours, and off-season gaming is different than regular gaming. It sure has stolen us, I know. I used to check that Discord like every day, and now I'll be honest, I check it maybe like once a week, and half the time when I do my weekly check-in, there's no notifications, and it kind of makes me sad. But at the same time, like, I've been so busy lately with trying to do this like house hunting and working, all the other stuff I'm trying to do on the side. Like, I'm very rarely free to play games. It doesn't help that, like, one of the games we really grinded the most at the beginning of this year was Ballistic, and then they killed Ballistic. So, like, that's just kind of gone. Really sad. I still sometimes think about Ballistic. Like, I miss it. But also, I recognize that it had its problems. I always said it was, like, worse than Overwatch, worse than Counter-Strike. I don't know if it was worse than Valorant. Valorant's pretty bad. But, like, it definitely was a knockoff of all those games. But it was so much more fun than all those games because the opponents had, like, their headsets, their microphones, and probably even their monitors turned off. Like, they were playing Deaf, Dumb, and Blind, and it made the matches so much easier. I boot up a match of Counter-Strike, and I feel like I'm playing the evil version of gaming. I'm playing evil Counter-Strike, where every enemy is just insta-headshotting. When I play Ballistic, enemies would be shooting 7 feet to my right, and that was their best effort. So I do miss it, because it was so much fun, and it was like competitive first-person shooter gameplay, where I felt like I didn't need to try hard. It was like casual competitive. It's great. I definitely miss it sometimes. You know what I just realized? So, I've been talking multiple times throughout the course of this stream about how I'm going to do this video editing stream tomorrow. Granted, it was a very last-second idea, something I just came up with tonight. So I can't really blame myself for what I'm about to say next. But I want to do this video editing stream tomorrow. I need to download 5 months worth of clips between tonight and tomorrow then. Oh no. That's no good. You gotta download 5 months worth of clips. I'm probably gonna do that in the morning. I want to go to bed after this stream. That's fine. Everything's fine. I'm not upset. Everything's gonna be fine. It's fine. I wasn't planning on starting tomorrow's stream until the middle of the day anyways. So I have time in the morning to download clips. Oh man. I also am just so tired. That's the other reason I don't want to download clips tonight. I really, really don't want to have to stay up later than I need to. Like, if ideally I can end this stream and immediately fall asleep, that would be my perfect universe. That would be my perfect way to spend this evening. We spent all of our money on the DS, so I can just start grinding the GameCube. We love a good, like, 13-second soundtrack. I love the name for this song because it's Trainer's Eyes Meet, parentheses, cool trainer, on parentheses. Like, not only is it funny that they have the specific songs for the specific trainer types, but it's most distinguished for the cool trainer. I mean, it's fitting though, because like, there's also the specific song for like when you're fighting like a child out in the wild, and the music is just almost like clowning on them for being young and dumb. We went from trainer music to defeating the champion music. Victory over the champion. Crazy. We've just beaten the game. Listening to the soundtrack on shuffle is a little disjointed, I will say. And now we went from the champion music, beating the game, to the first town in the game. The beginning of the game. Yeah, this is a little out of order. Oh, man. Oh, sorry, this is the second town in the game. My apologies. My own memory was a little off. I forgot Oldale Town is not the first town, even though it's called Oldale Town. Alright. Let's head back to the Poké Center, because we have another reset worth of Abra to go through. Alrighty. Where does that put us? We're at 9,590 Abra. Let's see if we get a shiny. At this point, I almost don't want a shiny, because I think it'd be funny to hit 10,001 resets. Exactly. Exactly 10,001 resets. It's such a funny number to end on. I just would have never expected that if you took the number of abra that we're collecting each reset, which is 137, and multiplied it by however number resets we've done to get to this point, at some point, the sum of that total would reach exactly 10,001. That's crazy. Like I said, I almost don't want the shiny, because I would love to hit the number 10,001 on stream. Honestly, even if we get the shiny, I might still go to 10,001 just to say we hit that number, just so we can have the funny number appear on stream. Nothing on the GameCube. How about the DS? Nothing in box 1. About box 2. Watch, we're probably gonna get a shiny now that I said I don't want a shiny. The game will do it just to spite me. Alright, cool. No shiny. Never thought I'd be happy to not see a shiny, but that's fine by me. We will reset. And we'll run it back. This music traumatized me as a child. So for those of you who don't know, Pokemon Ruby was not only the first Pokemon game I played, but it was the first game I ever owned myself. Now I can't say it was like the first video game I ever played, because there were games that my dad owned, and therefore I played like growing up in the household. Family games, you know, on the family console. Same way, you know, I played Club Penguin on the family computer. But the first game I ever owned myself was Pokemon Ruby. And Victory Road traumatized me because I was stuck on it for the longest time. Like, I just had no clue how to get past Victory Road and get to the Elite Four. Which is kind of sad looking back, because Victory Road isn't even the most confusing part of Pokemon Ruby. Like, it's almost concerning for my intelligence and like my mental fortitude as a child, because when you play through the Hoenn region and when you play through a game like Pokemon Ruby, in my opinion at least, the most confusing part of those games are all of the puzzles and sections of the game that are hidden underwater that you have to explore with the dive mechanic. Like, there are entire cave systems and even a city that you cannot find unless you dive underwater and then resurface above water somewhere else. And it's such a weird concept that they've never used again. It's only used in those games, and it makes for very, very confusing, not just puzzles, but also like keeping track of where you are on the map. Diving underwater one spot on the map and then resurfacing somewhere completely different on the map. Like, somehow, as a child, I was able to make it past that section of the game and use the dive mechanic to not only like discover the hidden Team Magma base, but also discover the 8th gym. But then I got to Victory Road, and that just broke my infant brain, and I couldn't figure out how to get past Victory Road. I don't know why that was the roadblock for me. That was my stopping point. It really is concerning. Like, my intelligence just hit a true handicap, and that was Victory Road. That's okay. There were a couple games growing up as a kid that I look back and I worry that I wasn't the most intelligent kid because I just couldn't figure them out. Now, some games, I don't think they were my fault, you know? I was a smart kid in school, so I don't think it was always my fault. I just wasn't the most, like, street smart, and therefore I didn't have always the best, I don't know, logic skills. Book smart, not street smart. Maybe that's why some games broke me. Maybe that's why Victory Road broke me. I don't know. Like, there were other games I would play as a kid, and I would just get stuck on something for the longest time. Like, I remember playing Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, and I made it through a good chunk of that game until you get to a mission where you have rescued the princess. At least, I think she's a princess. I don't really remember. It was a long time ago that I played that game, so apologies if I'm getting that incorrect. My memory is fogged, admittedly. But you rescue this princess, and you're trying to help her escape this palace. Sorry, God dang it. My games got out of sync. Hold up, let me get them both to the same point so I can get my muscle memory back in sync. Okay, cool. Both of the games are back at the same point. Anyways, I was playing Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, and there's this section of the game where you rescue a princess, try to help her escape like this palace or whatever. And there's this level where you're taking an elevator out of the palace and you get jumped by all these bad guys inside the elevator. And the point of that level, the whole mission, the objective, is to kill the bad guys before they kill the princess. And she is like the worst damsel in distress ever. She cannot protect herself, and there's so many of them that I just could not figure out how to kill all of them before they killed her. Like, I would not take any damage. I would be killing them unscathed, no health taken. But I just could not stop all of these dudes from getting to her and slashing her throat. And like, I just was stumped. And eventually I quit the game. Like, as a kid, I gave up and I never beat Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. And to this day, I've still never beaten Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. I'll have to go back and like replay it someday because it's just sitting in technically my video game backlog, unbeaten. And maybe that was also due to my unintelligence growing up. I don't know. For a similar reason that Victory Road and Pokemon Ruby had me stumped for like a week. I could not figure out how to get past Victory Road. But like I said a little bit ago, there are other games I look back on that really stumped me. And I look back and think, that wasn't my fault. I'll give you an example. So, I played the original Legend of Zelda growing up as a kid because, like I said, my dad had a lot of retro games. He had a lot of retro consoles. And therefore, I pretty much grew up on NES, SNES, and like N64 games. That was my bread and butter. As well as Game Boy Color, and some Game Boy Advance games as like a handheld console. But I played the original Legend of Zelda as a kid, and I got stuck and eventually gave up. Like, I just couldn't beat it the first time I played it because there were so many sections in that game where to unlock the next dungeon or to find like a secret hidden item, you have to go to this specific tile on the map and place a bomb down next to the 6th gravestone on the right column. And nothing in the game tells you that. There's no hints anywhere, there's no clues. You're just supposed to, like, trial and error figure that out. And that's how a lot of old games were designed. They just expected people to literally throw shit at a wall or throw bombs at gravestones until they eventually found the gravestone that broke open into a secret cave. And, like, that's, in my opinion, stupid. I understand that old games, you know, didn't really have a playbook for how game design was supposed to work and how games were supposed to be made. But while I can give them a break for that reason, and I can, you know, try to give them a little bit of grace for that reason, I can still say in the same breath of air, that's stupid as fuck. Like, and it was the exact reason why I never beat the original Legend of Zelda as a kid. Now, thankfully, I did eventually find the patience and the gusto to go back and play the original Legend of Zelda as an adult, and I beat it as an adult. But even when I was playing it as an adult, I was just reminded of how stupid some of those puzzles and secrets were. It's just insane. So I don't know. I do think there were sometimes as a child when I would play a video game and get stuck on something and it was my fault and I was just being dumb. But there were other games where I was set up for failure, alright, by the game developers, alright? Anyways, let me head back to the PC, because we are officially out of coins at the arcade here, at the game corner. And we'll look through this reset worth of Abra. How many does that put our total up to? 9,727. Alright. Let's see what we got. Any fun, shiny Abra on the GameCube? Any Abra that want to be wearing a purple shirt? I'm looking for an Abra in a purple shirt. Pretty please. Unlucky. You know, one thing I should probably be paying more attention to, and I guess I should care more about, are the nature of the Pokemon that we're finding. But also, it's entirely out of our control. Like, what nature the shiny has, I don't care. Because, like, I'm going to accept the shiny regardless of whether it has a good or bad nature. But because I don't care, I also don't know what is considered a good or bad nature for Abra. So I'll be honest, I'm admittedly a little uninformed and unintelligent about that. Anyways, let's see if we get any shiny Abra on the DS. Okay, nothing there. Oh my gosh, my eyes are watering. I don't know why. Maybe I do need to go to bed. It's okay. I'm committed until we hit 10,000 resets, which will be happening soon, because we are resetting again. We only have 2 resets left, including this one. So, technically 1 after this. We'll go again. We will grind again. The Hex Maniac music is very fitting. Definitely gives off like the ghost, almost emo vibes. And I can say that as a former emo. Okay. I say that with love, not hate. Hey, it's Sutopolis City. We were just talking about that a little bit earlier. Love Sutopolis City. Still shocked that I was able to find the location of Sutopolis City as a child. I can't express to y'all how excited I am to not have to work the next 4 days. I just love having my days off where I can relax, play video games, hang out with chat. I'm also going to be doing a bunch of video editing the next 4 days, not just tomorrow on stream with some of these clip compilations we're going to make, but we're going to edit some more Wolf's Den off camera, obviously. I don't want to spoil that video edit, because Zach sent us a little bit more of the footage. I still don't have all of the footage, but I have a little bit more, so I can keep editing it piece by piece. I'm very excited. This has been one of the most fun projects I've ever worked on from start to finish, and I mean that, like, from the start, when I was just planning out the format of it on, like, a Google Doc, to then planning out some of the challenges in an Excel sheet, and then actually building the challenges in a Minecraft single-player world, then exporting that world over to a Minecraft realm, test running the challenges with Zach, and finally hosting the event live on stream with the players, and now editing the live stream down for YouTube. Like, it's been, in my opinion, and I don't say this as an over-exaggeration or to hype it up as more than it is, this is just truthful. Yeah, just my true statement, how I truthfully feel about it. This has been the most fun and most excited I've ever been about a project I've done on stream. And I'm already now planning out Season 2. Now, of course, that planning I'm doing is, once again, in like the very preliminary stages where it's being like written down on paper first. I haven't done anything in a Minecraft world yet. The Minecraft server is nowhere near ready to be hosted, and that's why there hasn't been like an application for Season 2 yet. But I can pretty much confirm there will be a Season 2 for Wolf's Den. I just don't know when yet. This obviously takes a lot of planning, and I have a lot of ideas that I want to put on paper. Like, I don't know. I have so many ideas, and I'm so excited about the whole Wolf's Den series that could potentially come out of this, that I've also started planning out, like, Season 3. Now, Season 3 is just a glimmer in my eye, a mere excited thought in my head. So obviously that's even less planned out than Season 2. But at the very least, I'm excited about Season 3 because I have the first challenge of Season 3 planned out, and I'm so excited about that. Season 3's first challenge is gonna go crazy. Yeah, well, it might be the second challenge, actually. I lied. It might be the second challenge of Season 3, but it's still gonna be fun. I have one of the first challenges for Season 3 planned out, and it's gonna be awesome. I have most of the challenges for Season 2 planned out, which is also fun. But again, it's all on paper yet. Nothing's been built in, like, Minecraft. There's a couple things I want to introduce with Season 2 that I think could improve upon Season 1. Not that there was anything necessarily went wrong with Season 1 besides TNT Run. TNT Run went very wrong in Season 1. But there are still a couple things I would like to improve upon with Season 1. For example, I want to have set speeches written down to introduce and explain every challenge. So for Season 1, I just kind of ad-libbed and improv'd what each challenge was and the description of how each challenge was to be played out. And I had a lot of that, like, prepared in my head beforehand. Like, to give an example from Season 1, a challenge we played was running the numbers, which was an Omega challenge where 4 players had to get in boats, boat across a jungle river, get a collection of mathematical symbols, use those symbols to then fill out an equation, and get the answer to that equation in order to earn their safety. That description I just described to you live right now on stream was off the cuff and very similar to the description I gave the players live during the challenge as to how to perform the challenge. And while most of my descriptions were very good and understood by the players, and I always made sure to ask at the end of each description and prior to each challenge starting, does anyone have any questions? Just so if there was confusion or any, like, misunderstanding, vague wording, people could get that confusion cleared up. I always made sure to ask for questions. There were still a couple moments throughout the challenges in Season 1 where people ended up being confused and performed worse in the challenge because of their confusion, which isn't necessarily their fault. It might actually be my fault because I just didn't have a set speech prepared beforehand to best describe the challenge in its entirety. I was describing challenges off the cuff, just kind of improvising it. So one of the things I'm trying to do for Season 2 and every season forward is have an actual speech written out ahead of time that best describes the challenge, every part of the challenge, so people have the full description of it, and hopefully there's less confusion. And there will still be the opportunity after that description for players to ask questions if they are confused. But I think this will help not only me be more prepared, but the players to be more prepared going into the challenge. So that's something I've been working on as well. I'm trying to come up with some new challenges additionally, because with most, like, competition game shows, not only on TV but, like, in the live streaming content creation space, with really any competition game show, I guess is what I'm trying to say, you'll see repeated challenges, and that's fun. Like, I think for popular fan favorite challenges that the audience loves or the players love, I'd be willing to do repeat challenges. But I don't just want to repeat the same challenges every season over and over and over again. So I'm trying to come up with some new fun challenges for Season 2, and I have a lot of ideas already. I'm very excited for that. I did use up a lot of my nerdy ideas for Season 1, though, I'll be honest. Like, running the numbers was one of my nerdy ideas that I stole from Survivor. Night Moves, which was the Final 5 Omega challenge, was a nerdy idea that I stole from Big Brother. Like, a lot of the challenges I used in Season 1 were just ideas that I'd seen other game shows use that I love as a fan of those game shows. Like, I love Survivor. I love The Challenge. I love Big Brother. I love some of these competition shows so much that I just wanted to take inspiration from their challenges and put a Minecraft twist on it. And therefore, I used up a lot of my nerdy, like, inspired ideas in Season 1. And now I'm trying to come up with, like, some of my own ideas, or at least, different ideas. I'm also trying to, like, have a theme for each season. I don't want the themes to be so in your face that it's obnoxious, but like the underarching theme for season 1, the theme that was present throughout most of the challenge designs and throughout most of the builds that I did within challenges was the theme of a sprouting tree, and thus it was a lot of like planks and logs and also leaves, because I wanted season 1 to be like the birth of Wolf's Den as a competition show, the like tree that's being planted in the ground, and every season after that is the growth of that tree or the growth of Wolf's Den as a show. Very symbolic, you can't tell. Like, I always try to have meaning behind the things I do. I like having double meaning and hidden meanings behind the things I make on stream or on YouTube. And season 1's theme was that of like growth and initial birth through the form of a newly, freshly sprouted tree, like a sapling, if you will. And that's why there were a lot of saplings all around the challenges and throughout the show. So season 1's theme was sapling. I don't fully know yet what I want season 2's theme to be, so I'm still working on that. Still thinking about it. However, we're gonna move on to the shinies, potential shinies, and we now have 9,864 Abra that we have purchased from Team Rocket. Technically, Team Rocket's the one who owns the gambling ring, so it's almost a little corrupt that we've now spent this much money on Team Rocket. But yeah, 9,864 Abra. Let's see if any of these are shiny. Once again, I feel very strange saying that I don't want any of these Abra to be shiny, but I really don't. Like, I want to hit the number 10,000. I want to hit 10,000 Abra on stream. What is this music? Oh my god, this is the music for Steven Stone? That's terrifying. Sounds like something out of a horror game. Sounds like the background music for a setting in Resident Evil. How is this Steven Stone's music? Okay, now I can kind of hear the Pokemon influence. What the fuck was that intro, though? That was terrifying. This goes crazy. Anyways. No shinies on the GameCube. Let's look at the DS. This music actually goes crazy. Are we sure this isn't a remix? It gives off remix vibes. I'm gonna check after we're done looking at the DS here. I also definitely am gonna go back to box 1 because I looked away at the end of box 1 to make sure this song wasn't a remix, but because I looked away from the DS, I was not looking at the Abra to see if they were shiny, which makes me paranoid that they were not shiny. Or that they could have been shiny, I guess is a better way of wording it. Alright, let me just look at the last, like, 10 Abra. Because I definitely looked away at some point during the end of Box 1. I just want to make sure they weren't shiny. Okay, nothing shiny there. Is this a remix? Oh, it's a bonus track. It's not a remix. I was gonna say, I'm like, dude, I've never heard this. How? It did not sound like something from the original game. I was tripping. Oh my god. Alright, last reset of the night, boys. This reset will officially push us above the 10,000 mark for this shiny hunt, which is kind of crazy. What would be even crazier is if we get a shiny at exactly 10,001 Abra. 10,001. But yeah, to go back to the last topic I was talking about, even though I kind of finished what I was saying, I still want to just go back full circle. The theme for season 1 of Wolfsten was like a sapling and the birth of a new series on our live stream, the birth of a new series on our YouTube even, and the birth of a new game show that I'll be hosting. But again, I didn't want that theme to be just shoved in your face, like crammed down your throat. I didn't think it was necessary to do that. I just kind of wanted it to be present under the surface, so if people noticed it, cool. If they didn't notice it, whatever. New game show. The birth of a new OnlyFans. Coming to theaters near you. Sorry. Yeah. I really enjoyed having a theme, and I honestly preferred the fact that it wasn't crammed down people's throats, because that's kind of one of my annoyances with a show like Survivor. As much as I love Survivor, one of my least favorite things Survivor did during like some of their seasons, specifically the seasons between season like 20 and season 40, that section of the show, is they were just cramming these unnecessary themes down people's throats, and they forced these weird themes into their seasons that did not need to happen. Like, they did two seasons themed after brains versus bronze versus beauties, where one tribe was a bunch of nerds, one tribe was a bunch of jocks, and one tribe was a bunch of hot people. They did a season called Healers versus Heroes versus Hustlers, which was already kind of a knockoff of White Collar versus Blue Collar versus No Collar. Both of those seasons, one tribe all had jobs that were coincidentally blue collar, white collar, or no collar. And the same vibe kind of went for like Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers, but a little bit different. Like, it wasn't as concrete. Like, the heroes weren't necessarily blue collar, they were just more heroic jobs like nurse or marine. But it still kind of fit the blue collar vibe, whereas the Hustlers were definitely the no collar tribe. Like, it was obnoxious. It was obnoxious, it was unnecessary, and it just got to a point where I grew tired of it with Survivor. I grew tired of the themes within Survivor constantly just being thrown in my face as if I was a toddler who couldn't understand. Well, this tribe has people who are blue collar workers. You see that man Mike? He works on an oil rig. He gets dirty. And you see this guy Joaquin? He works in an office. He doesn't get dirty. Oh, and by the way, he's on the white collar tribe, in case you're too fucking dumb to understand that. Like, holy shit, I'm not an idiot, Survivor. Like, CBS must think the fucking zombies that watch their television network have 0 brain cells. What the fuck is going on? So again, like, it got a little annoying. And I don't want to do that with the themes that I use for Wolf's Den. But there are some themes that Survivor used that I liked. And even though they were a little in your face, they were fun. And therefore, it's kind of hard to not make it such an integral part of the show. I'll give an example. One of my favorite Survivor seasons ever was Heroes versus Villains. That's just good fun. Like, you bring back a cast of returning characters, and I think that's why it worked so well, because it was a cast of returning characters. Some of them being people who were very heroic upon their first time playing. Some of them being people who played very villainously their first time playing. And then you put them against each other. I love that. I think that's so funny. And therefore, like, I would love to do some similar themes in future seasons of Wolf's Den. But I just want to avoid the... I want to avoid the pitfalls of making it so in your face. Because I don't ever want the viewers of my live stream or the viewers of my YouTube to think that I think they're idiots. Like, I don't want them to feel as though their intelligence is being questioned. Like, you see this guy Mike? He works on an oil rig. Can you guess what tribe he's on? Here's your multiple choice answers on the screen. That's right. Blue collar. Like, no. I want my viewers to at least feel as though I trust their intelligence. I don't know. So we'll see. Like I said, for now, the themes of my Wolf's Den seasons are gonna just be kind of backdrops for challenges and a nice way to have a cool design aesthetic for the seasons. They're not going to be the forefront, because I need to have a couple seasons under my belt before we do a returning player season anyways. Like, if I wanted to do my version of a Heroes versus Villains, which I don't even know if I would do that, because that kind of paints some of the players in a derogatory light, which I don't necessarily want to do. But, like, if I wanted to do my version of a Heroes versus Villains, we would have to do several seasons before that happens. And I also don't think Heroes versus Villains would be my first choice for a returning player season. If I do a returning player season, there's a couple ideas I'd rather do before I do, like, a Heroes versus Villains styled season. But yeah, I don't know. For now, the themes, like Season 1's theme being sapling and the beginning of life, will just kind of be in the background. Would I be a hero or a villain? Alright, listen. I don't want to get all, like, hot and bothered, okay? Don't make me blush on stream. And I also should try to stay as unbiased as possible as the host. But we're like the only people in the chat right now, and who the fuck is gonna watch an hour and 57 minutes into a shiny hunting stream? So I doubt anyone's ever gonna find this footage and then, like, hold it over my head as if I'm an unfair moderator. I really think you have like one of the best storylines from the first season at least, and would definitely fall under the hero category. I love your story arc. As tragic of an ending as it has, it makes me so happy and so sad at the same time. It's almost like storybook tragedy. And as a story writer, as a narrator, it just fills me with so much glee because I think you'd be the perfect person to be brought back a second time. Like, just the. I don't think I was entertaining? What do you mean you weren't entertaining? You literally survived. You survived exile 3 times in a row. All 3 times. Round 1, round 2, round 3. Every time someone could be up for exile, you were up for exile, and you survived. To me, that is insane. Like, no one was exiled more than you, and you survived. That's like insane to me. And I just have like, I don't know. I have no words to describe how, as a story writer, that is like the perfect story for not only like the hero arc, to answer your original question, but also just like for like a redemption arc if anyone is ever to be brought back a second time. Because like, sure, you can bring back a winning player, you can bring back a dominant player who lost, but their story arcs are more likely to take a downturn the second time they play. And you see that time and time again with other competition shows who bring back winners or really, really good players. But you bring back an underdog, and that underdog has nowhere to go but up. And I fucking love that story. That story, that wins the hearts of millions. Like, as far as I'm concerned, you're a teen dream. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's phenomenal the way you survived the first 3 rounds. Before I get myself in trouble by saying too much and being accused of being an unbiased host, let's instead talk about the fact that we have officially hit 10,000 abra plus 1. That's so silly. That's such a silly number to be on screen. 10,001 abra. Let's see if we get any shinies on reset number 10,000. Any abra to end the stream. This would be the most insane way to get a shiny on reset number 10,000 exactly. If not, though, I can at least go to bed happy knowing we've officially hit pentuple digits. Is that the correct term? I know 5 is penta, but I don't know if pentuple is the word. I'm like doubting myself right now. Second guessing myself. Yeah, we've hit 5 digits for this shiny hunt, which now officially makes it the second longest shiny hunt I've ever done in the history of my streaming career. The longest shiny hunt I've ever done was 14,000 resets. And that was on Pokemon Sword, oddly enough, where the odds of getting a shiny are way higher. Like, it's way more likely to get a shiny. So the fact that I had a shiny hunt on Pokemon Sword go to 14,000 is almost more insane, way more unlucky, and looking back, just like sad to think about. So if this Abra shiny hunt goes above 14,000, I won't even be that mad that it becomes my new longest shiny hunt. It's kind of expected. Alright, nothing on the GameCube. Tough luck there. Let's see if the DS can be our saving grace before we end the stream. Any luck on the DS? Nothing in box 1. Box 2 is our last chance. Our last hope. I spent the entire stream not wanting a shiny. This is the only moment I wanted a shiny. I don't think we're gonna get it though. Yeah, no shiny. Unlucky. That's okay though. At least we hit 10,000 officially for the shiny hunt. And we will try again, potentially tomorrow. If not, maybe the next day. So my plan for tomorrow's live stream, like I said, let me pause the music actually. Song's ending anyway, so it's perfect timing to pause the music. Plan for tomorrow is to stream a little bit of video editing. And then if that doesn't take up the entire time of the live stream, if we have a little bit of time left over afterwards, we'll do more shiny hunting tomorrow. But if I don't have time to shiny hunt tomorrow, I think I can unofficially say that I'll shiny hunt the next day after that. So the 29th, we'll shiny hunt again. So we'll see. I don't have a stream schedule for the 29th yet. The last day I have scheduled right now is the 28th, so tomorrow. But we'll put a stream schedule out for the 29th, probably tomorrow. So yeah, we'll get all that sorted out here tomorrow. Either way, I'll see y'all then. I appreciate y'all stopping by, hanging out, keeping me company while I'm just constantly being teased by these abra, but that's okay. I can't even be mad, honestly. I'm just proud of the fact that we finally hit 10,000 resets, 10,000 abra. It's a weird feeling of pride because like technically we're still failing. We have yet to accomplish our goal. We have not succeeded. But I have succeeded in hitting 10,000. So that's cool, I guess. I don't know. But either way, I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful evening. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Get some rest, y'all. Get some sleep. And I wish you all the best.